A vast majority of Americans all believe secondary school, college, trade school should be a right. And I have to agree with them. When you look at K through 12, that's a right. It's free education. We provide that to all citizens as they grow up. So why stop there? Why not have a secondary education paid for? You know, you can look at it as one way competitive global competition. Other countries are paying for secondary schooling to stay on top, and we're falling behind. So, one way to be competitive globally is to do that, make sure that we are sending them to universities and technical schools to keep them at the level that allows us to be able to fill those jobs that in our own country we cannot find people to fill because they don't have the education or the technical expertise, so we have to outsource. So to me it should be a right. I believe you would agree when you see that out of all those students, 3.6 million just in 2018 that were graduating, how many of them wanted to go to college but chose not to because debt, seeing their parents paying off school debt, seeing family members paying it. It's a large amount of debt that builds up the longer you're in school. So with that looming, some people just decide not to go into college. They decide to just get a job and start working and be happy in those areas. However, if they didn't have to pay for it, they may take that opportunity. Still, some people won't. Some people may want to do trade school, and that's fine if they want to do electrician or be a welder. Or if they do want to go to school to learn to be an electrical engineer, to learn to be a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer, all those would be great opportunities. And they should have that right, and it should be paid for by us as a whole, us as a nation. When somebody's happy and they're being paid better and they don't have the debt looming over them, it causes the nation to have a happy population. With that population, that nation's more prosperous. They are able to make smarter decisions on every level. They're able to do things for their citizens because everybody is in a higher education, so higher paying job end. And then what you can do is you can start focusing on important things like energy issues for that country, climate change for the whole world, poverty. You still have polio that has not been eradicated yet. With more people educated, more doctors, more nurses, you could help solve those issues. People that have more technical savvy, that can work out computer programs, algorithms to solve issues. But how do you get there? Well, you have to go and get schooled. You have to be educated. Our federal government's budget alone was $3.330 trillion in 2018. That's what the revenue we brought in. However, we expended 4.109 trillion, so we're already in a deficit. So if you go to Congress and say, "Hey, we want to pay for this," they're going to say we can't afford it. Or what? Well, you have a lot of projects that overlap that could probably be cut. You have foreign aid. The 10 top countries that we pay foreign aid to is $8.7 billion that we're paying to other countries that we can put towards ours. Let's say you don't want to get rid of any of that, or you don't want to get rid of the pork barrel projects that they have. Well, you could tax the top 1% of our country that make $1 million or more. Well, if that's not fair, then there's 330 million Americans that, if you look at $150 towards each 330 million, right there you have $49.5 billion that could go towards education, kind of like Social Security does. In-state college is only $11,000 on average for most colleges in most states, the public colleges. So you could set standards of what it's supposed to cost. And I think that's fair if you look at doing something like that. Now, low income people, of course, you can't expect them to pay 150. So anybody above the low income would chip in there for your percentage. I think it's the right thing for us to do. So future generations have the tools and knowledge to move forward in an ever expanding world that is facing new difficulties that require higher education to solve.